This is my question. Has Errol Spence been compromised ever since that car accident? It's an interesting thing, man. When Errol Spence gained his fame, I think it started with the rumor of him giving Mayweather some good sparring. And ever since then, he earned a lot of nicknames. The Weight Bully, Man Down, Strap Season, all that. And then we saw him partying a lot more. Hanging out with a lot of rappers. Yellow Beezy, for example. And while he was still successful in the ring, it seemed like he was aligning himself with a lot of people who are, I guess you could say, powerful in a lot of ways, money-wise. I don't know if he's been friends with Mayweather, but he's been linked to Mayweather because of that sparring situation. We know he got linked to Yellow Beezy because they're generally from the same area, Dallas-Fort Worth area. I guess by way of Oak Cliff. I don't know if Spence is from the Cliff, but he's been real tight with Yellow Beezy. There's been a lot of things that's been quieted, swept under the rug in regards to Errol Spence and that accident. It's like they had to reconstruct this man and bring him back out to the public. As long as they have him, as long as they're still handling him, puppeteering him, it's like it's almost like Errol Spence has a puppet master. He acts like a boss. He comes off like a boss. He's wearing all these little fancy stuff, his chains and everything, but he really acts like these rappers who really are bought, who are owned by executives and other people behind closed doors that we don't see. But the fact that he has a whole lot of support, you know, the fact that he's linked up with Jerry Jones and got all this other stuff going on, and he really is not even that. Individually by himself, without the support of the machine, because that's the thing. Errol Spence is backed by the machine for some reason. Bud Crawford is not. We all know Bud Crawford got it from the mud, from the ground up. He earned his respect the hard way. And it seemed like Spence kind of was like chosen. You know, because I feel like when Spence came on the scene early, he had a very pure, innocent, special aura about him. Like you knew it was something special about him. But I feel like along the way, as time went on and he gained some fame and some recognition, I feel like Errol Spence ended up being tainted by the system, society, and the fame. And I think he went from being a man who was intact with his soul to someone who lost his soul and who now no longer is himself. And it seemed like ever since that accident, the Errol Spence we've been seeing, I don't know about this cat is compromised. Like I said, is Errol Spence compromised? I think he is. I really think he is. Also, when it comes to that crash, the streets talk. Some people feel like the only reason why Errol Spence was going that fast was because he was running from someone. MO3 lived in the same condos as Errol Spence, the same complex. Wherever Errol Spence stayed, that's where MO3 had stayed. And they had a couple of run-ins. Violent run-ins, actually. Been a lot of threats. MO3 wasn't scared of nobody. He wasn't scared of Errol Spence because he was Errol Spence. Because he was a boxer. MO3 was known for fighting in the streets too now. I'm not saying MO3 would have beat up Errol Spence. But it got to the point to where gunplay was involved. And once MO3, which we already knew that MO3 stepped on Yellow Beezy, shot at his vehicle when he was in Dallas-Fort Worth at one point in time in a car by himself and survived it. Spence was after MO3. It got turned up. And Spence is still with Yellow Beezy. So, you don't think Errol Spence was involved in that MO3 situation? Or could have maybe dropped the bag on MO3? Or helped drop a bag with as much money as he has and power and pull? Just saying, think about it. Who the hell was chasing Errol Spence that night when he crashed? Why the hell would he be going that fast? He wasn't racing nobody. There was no other cars going hand in hand with him. But we do see, once the car gets flipped, we do see a car maybe a few seconds after the crash. You know, it was all veering. It went over and it was making a right turn. But it was almost as if someone was making sure what was done was done. I think maybe they could have fired some shots at him, and then next thing you know, he lost control and tried to avoid getting hit, and that's how he crashed, even though he was intoxicated. I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff that's been happening in Dallas that the police department I don't know. There's some suspect stuff with the police department in Dallas. A lot of cold cases and a lot of unsolved mysteries for sure. But is Errol Spence tied to Mo3's death? Was Errol Spence involved in the death of Mo3? And is this why they're protecting him so much? Because they know it was bigger than a lot of people think it was.